Welcome to Divorce Dads of America, The Rebuild. I'm your host, Anthony Thompson, founder of Divorce Dads. And I'm going to share with you something that most will never talk about. Most will never go there. It's one of the most difficult things to do. It's one of the most empowering things that once you learn to do it, it will shape your daily activities in a different way. I know you're going through hell. I know you maybe gone through hell and you're here saying, hey, what do I need to do different? How do I work this thing out? I'm going to share some things with you. My grandma is in her upper 90s. I think my grandpa is just under 100. And I sit with them. She doesn't ask me about my business. She doesn't ask about what I'm building or what I'm buying or where I've been. She tells me about bowls of soup that I used to eat. She tells me about playing football in the street when I was a kid on the south side of Chicago. She lights up talking about the great grandchildren, my kids. She asks how they're doing, what they're doing, how they're growing. And sitting with her, I realized something that I think most men, most dads spend their entire lives running from. It's the end. It's not the vacations. It's not the status. It's not the job title or the income or the things you accumulated. It's the people, the moments, the ordinary Tuesday afternoons that you're actually present for. Today, I want to talk about what dying people actually think about and why understanding the end of life might be the most important thing you do for your life right now and will change your perspective. Because when you change that, you see things differently. You see difficulty differently. Most of you are so entrenched into this one view of your life that you forget to take a step back and say, okay, what are we actually moving towards? What does that look like? And it may seem daunting. It may feel scary. And that is exactly what I want you to walk into today. Because if you have never walked down that road, my friends, you're going to walk into a journey that is going to open your eyes, and something that I've had to do personally for myself. And so before we go any further, listen, those of you guys that are popping on, you're jumping in, you follow the show right now, Spotify, Apple. Couple episodes a week for divorce dads who are ready to stop chasing what doesn't matter. Start showing up for what does. Every time you hit the button, the algorithm goes crazy. It finds another dad who's so focused on the future that he's missing the only moment he actually has. Just a couple of clicks, dads. It helps another dad, gives them hope, gives them light. Hit follow, man, and let's keep building. Here's what dying people are actually talking about. Here's also why this matters for you today. These are things that are going to help close the gap from who you are to who you want to become. It's not going to be more money. It's not going to be a lot of these things that we think. So there was a woman named Bronnie Ware. She spent years working in palliative care, sitting with people in the last weeks of their lives. And she documented what they said, what they regretted, what they wished they'd done differently. Here's some of that research compiled in her book, Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. She found that the most common regret among dying men was this wish. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Not I wish I'd built more. Not I wish I'd made more money. I wish I'd been present for the moments that mattered instead of chasing the ones that didn't. God, when I heard that, man, and I've heard it before and I've heard it again, oh, it is a rip. It is a shotgun to the chest. Here's the second most common regret. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends, the relationships, the brotherhood, and the people. Not one person at the end of their life said, I wish I'd spent more time on my phone. Not one said, I wish I had worked more weekends. Not one said, I wish I had a bigger house. And my grandmother here at the end of her life is not thinking about any of those things. She's thinking about the soup. She's thinking about watching me as a kid playing football in the street. She's thinking about the faces of her great-grandchildren. And the data here also shows and aligns with this. And Dr. Karl Pillemer at Cornell spent a decade interviewing 1,500 Americans aged 70 to 100. He called it his legacy project, one of the largest studies ever conducted on wisdom and life satisfaction in older adults. Guys, get ready for this, man. Get ready for this. because you are building this right now. I'm giving you a taste of the future so that you can do something today differently about it. This is why we have the school community. This is why I sit with dads and coach them into making the right decision now with themselves, with their children, with their lives, with their minds. Here's what this guy found in this study. Dr. Pillemer. He confirmed also what I shared with Bronnie Ware, and he found that the overwhelming majority of older adults identified relationships and present moment experiences as a primary source of life meaning, not achievement, not wealth, not status. And the overwhelming majority said they wish they'd understood this sooner. The closer we get to the end, the more alive the present becomes. And that's not a coincidence. That's the truth about what actually matters when we finally break through all the noise, when you put the stupid phone down, when you stop numbing out, when you start asking and answering the hard questions for yourself and for your life and for your children. Guys, I'm passionate about this because I believe that we need to work with the end in mind. The scripture says that we need to number our days to know what we're doing today. So here's why high-performing divorced dads miss the present. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I also missed, how I failed. And here's the trap high-functioning divorced dads fall into. This is what the trap that I fell into. This is the trap that sometimes continually comes up for me. My mind races toward what I want to build, business ideas, new projects, things I haven't created yet. And many times I get anxious about them, how they will happen, what I'm missing, what if I'm behind, and all the mental activity is happening while the present moment, the only moment I have, is passing by without me in it. So I had to start asking myself a question. Does it really matter right now? It's a very, very important question. Does it matter right now? Why am I wasting mental space and energy on something I can't change? What I know is limited. What I don't know is limitless. And the present is the only place I can actually do anything. Harvard does this study, and I love these studies, guys, because a lot of you guys just need to know some of the facts, data, brain science about what's happening. Daniel Gilbert tracked 2,200 people across 83 countries using real-time experiences, and he found that the human mind is wandering away from what it's currently doing 47% of the time. So nearly half of our waking hours are spent somewhere other than the present moment. The study found a direct correlation. A wandering mind is an unhappy mind, regardless of what is wandering toward. Even wandering toward pleasant thoughts produce less happiness than being fully present in an unpleasant activity. High performers, you guys listening, are especially vulnerable to this. We're wired to think ahead. We're wired to build. We're wired to optimize. And that wiring, which is a gift, becomes a thief when it steals the present from us. Now, depression focuses on the past. Anxiety focuses on the future. The present moment is the only place where peace actually lives. And most dads are spending their entire rebuild in one of the other two rooms. And so I want to give you a peace architecture today, something where you can look at and say, okay, how can peace happen in my life? So many dads they're searching for peace. They want more peace. They want freedom and all those things. I want to give you something today. It took me years to understand. It took me countless failures, man. It's countercultural thing I'm going to say and share on this podcast. If something outside of you can give you peace, then it can be taken away. When you create peace inside you, no one can take it away. And I said it to myself for years, when I make more money, I will have peace. When the business hits this number, I will be happy. When the thing happens, I will finally feel okay. And then the things would come and they wouldn't deliver. The peace I was promised by the achievement, it wasn't there. And I had to face the truth, the hard truth. I was looking for peace in the wrong place. So the psychologist side of this, Sonia Libanowski from the University of Cal, leading researcher on happiness. This is always good. I get guys sometimes like, well, how do I get more happiness? Here's some findings that will help you uncover this happiness, I believe sometimes is a trap. She found that only 10% of human happiness is determined by life circumstances, income status, where you live, what you own. 50% is determined by genetic happiness, and 40% is determined by intentional daily activity, how you think, what you practice, what you choose to focus on, the external things you are chasing are fighting over 10% of your happiness. The internal work you're doing is 40%. So here's what inner peace looks like. So the findings is basically saying, hey, 40% of what we can control, we can have peace here. 50% is a genetic happiness set point. It's things that we've created. And I want to give you three decisions today that are going to help you about peace. And I want you to first think of this as this architecture, this peace architecture. The first thing you have to do is itemize your thoughts. When I think of itemizing my thoughts, I'm very quickly reminded of my bank statement, itemized. Where's my money? Where's it going? Where's it coming in from? And when I look at my bank statement, I have a very clear picture of where it's going and what's coming in. It's itemized. So in your mind, every morning before the noise starts, audit what's in your head. Write it down if you have to. You have to. You have to get it out of your head and write it down. And then ask one question about each thought. Does it serve me right now? If it does not, eliminate it. Don't suppress it. Replace it with something that does serve you. So just like your body changes when you work out and eat the right things, your mind changes when you do the same thing with your thoughts. Most men never do it because they think it's too hard. And that's what holds them back their entire life. Those of you guys that are coaching clients with me, you know that we talk about auditing your thoughts, itemizing them, understanding what's coming in and what's going out. Here's decision number 2. Stop telling the wrong story. I was telling myself that if certain things happen, I'd be better. Instead of just being better now. The story you tell about your circumstances determines how you feel about them more than the circumstances. So you got to change the meaning to change the feeling. Say that again. Change the meaning, change the feeling. You can't control what happened. You can control what it means. And that meaning is a choice every single day. Philippians 4:11, huge verse, something you need to know and get inside of you. It says, I've learned in whatever state I am to be content. Paul wrote that from prison. Hello, not a beach, not on the shores of Hawaii, not after everything worked out, from prison. Contentment is not a feeling that arrives when the circumstances are right. It's a disciplined practice when they're not. Get rid of that stuff today. Number 3, the practice, gratitude for what's happening, not what's not happening. Most divorced dads that I'm talking to, they spend their mental energy focused on what they don't have, time lost, the life they imagined, the things that didn't work out. Gosh, I was in such a blender thinking about all of the things and time I was losing with my children with 50-50. Oh, and it was dark. It was dark. It was, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be there. Then I started to look at what I didn't have in the business or in cash flow. I don't have this anymore. I don't have this in my savings. I don't have these. Oh, darkness, 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 darkness. I had to flip it. What is happening? So neuroscientist Rick Hansen, he's done decades of neuroplasticity research. He found that the brain obviously has a negative bias that causes it to hold on to negative experiences like Velcro and let positive ones slide off like Teflon. So this is factory installed survival wiring, and it requires intentional override. The gratitude practice is not a soft concept. It's a neurological intervention that rewires the brain's default pattern away from threat and toward resource. So I have to ask you this. What are you grateful for right now in this moment? Not when things are better, dude. Start there. Every morning before anything else gets access to your mind, what are you grateful for? One of the things that I do in particular is every morning I walk, and my first round, my first lap is gratitude and being thankful. Scripture says that we enter his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. I thank God for all of the things that are happening. I even thank God for the things I don't like that are causing me to be a better man and a better dad. As you begin to do that and wire that and wire that and wire that, you will have a mind that will see things differently. Now, let's get to this near death lesson without near death. I don't want you to get there. I want you to think about what this is like, because what fascinates me, and if you've had a near death experience, you'll understand. Every person who comes back from one describes the same shift. The small things become enormous. The big things that felt urgent become meaningless. And the present moment becomes so powerful that everything falls away. They don't come back wanting a bigger house. They come back wanting to call the person they love. They come back wanting to sit with their kids. They come back wanting to be in the ordinary moment they used to rush through. You don't need a near-death experience to get there. You just need a grandmother who tells you about the soup and the football in the street. You need to sit with the end of life long enough to understand what the beginning and the middle is actually for. There's so much. There's so much depth. The findings in this awareness. Psychologist Jeff Greenberg did a study where he found this conscious awareness of mortality, when processed through a healthy psychological framework, consistently produces increased present moment engagement, deeper relationship investments, and greater life meaning. It's understanding the power of it. It's understanding that time is so short. It's so finite, guys. When you say, I don't have enough time, I want to challenge that. Say, guys, find the time and make the time and delete the stupid things that you need to delete and stop scrolling and get accountable. Let somebody look over your thoughts. Let somebody look over your calendar. When I talk with guys and we audit their time, we audit their calendar, we audit their mindset, they're awakened to a whole new world of possibilities. Your divorce definitely felt like death. The life you had died. And if you let it, that death can do for what near-death experiences do for the people who come back. It can make the present moment so vivid and so precious that you stop rushing through it. It can be as simple as just sitting at the dinner table with your children, just watching them eat and eating them with them. A walk around the block, so powerful with them. It can be just sitting in the house. And there's sometimes, guys, where I'll close my eyes and I will just think about the great things that have happened in my life and even the daily things that I do have instead of what I don't have. This is the present. This is the power of it. This is how you begin to transform your mind so that you start thinking bigger. You start thinking and moving toward the man you're becoming, not the drifter, but the builder. Because here's the difference between the builder and the drifter. When it comes to the present, a drifter lives in the future. He's always building towards something that will finally make him happy. When the money comes, when the business hits, when the custody gets better, when life calms down. Oh, I hear that one a lot. When life calms down, I'll get this together. And while he's waiting for that moment, his kids are growing up. His grandmother's getting older. The bowls of soup and the football game in the streets are becoming memories that nobody will remember because he was not there for them. But a builder understands something most men only learn. The moment's the gift, the present, right now, is the only place where peace lives. He creates the peace daily, not from his circumstances, from his decisions, from his discipline, from his choice to be grateful for what's happening instead of being anxious about what's not. He itemizes his thoughts. He kills the stories that don't serve him. He shows up for the ordinary Tuesday like it's the most important day of his life, because it is. Because one day his grandmother will tell someone about it, and he wants to be there. So guys, if this episode hits you, I want you to do one thing. Call or visit the oldest person in your life and ask them what they remember most. Not what they accomplished, what they remember. And then listen, really listen. Because what they tell you is your roadmap for what to do with today. If you're not following the show, follow on Apple or Spotify. If you don't care, then that's fine too. Share this with a dad. Leave a comment. Leave a question. Those of you guys that are in our school group, jump in it. Link is in the show notes. Those of you guys that are high level business guys, executives, you own a business, you say, hey, I need this to be real in my life. I need to create peace right now. This is going to change my life. You want to audit, you want to do a full system audit and work this out for the rest of the year. Let me know. Maybe we can build this thing together. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. God bless you.